Welcome to the channel. I'm Tony the Technician, and today we're going to be going into a Newair powered cooler. So if you guys follow the channel, you guys might know that I actually purchased a powered cooler a few months ago for camping needs, and I run it on a power station or a portable power station, and depending on the one that I run it on, I can run it for 3 to 8 days. So I am extremely happy with the cooler that I chose, as well as the power station, and I couldn't be happier. When I first looked into powered coolers, I was trying to stay between $200 and $500 because when looking at normal coolers in a good quality, you're looking at spending $200 to $600, which is pretty crazy just for a cooler. And then looking at powered coolers, you're looking at anywhere from $200 to over $1,000, which is insane to just think about the fact that you could buy a full-on freezer and fridge for your house for that cost. Now granted, I get the mobility and versatility of it all, but that's still quite pricey, so I figured $200 to $500 was going to get me a good quality one that wasn't going to completely break the bank. And I have been extremely happy with mine. I paid between $200 and $300 for mine, but then you also have to factor in the cost of the power station, which was a few $100s. But I use my power station for more than just powering my cooler, so that in itself can be justified in different means. So once again, I'm extremely happy with my powered cooler, but Newair, the one that we're going over today, has a few features that the one I originally purchased does not have, and I think Newair did a really good job with this one. Newair is actually a brand that I've used and a brand that I trust because I have quite a few of their products. I originally purchased their shop fan, I don't know, 6 years ago, maybe more. It's been great. I have their mini fridge, I have 2 of their portable air conditioners, and I've had good experiences with them. I've only ever had to use the warranty process once, and honestly, they were absolutely fantastic with me. I actually ended up losing the mini fridge in a trailer fire a few years ago, and they worked with me, and great customer service. And so today we're going to be going over the specs, the features, the pricing, and my personal thoughts on this powered cooler. And we'll be going over what I like about it over the original powered cooler that I had purchased a few months ago. So I really hope you guys enjoy. If there's any questions, comments, concerns, anything that you guys would like to know about this cooler that I may forget to mention in the video, please feel free to drop a comment down below. I will also have the Newair website linked down below, and I'll also try and get you guys a discount code. It will be right there with the website link. It is there for you guys. I will also have some additional links to other tools and other videos. Okay, so I am running a test on this already, which you'll see in the next clip, but I figure we can at least go over the information of the cooler. So if you guys follow the channel, you guys might know that I run this cooler. I've had it for a few months, and it's a 20 quart. That's the brand F40 C4 TMP, and this thing's been fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Love this thing. It fits in the bed of my truck, but I actually think this one might fit in the bed of my truck on top of my bed slide. I'm not sure. I do like a lot of these features. Down here you can see you'll get an instruction manual. This fridge, unlike this one, I believe some of the bigger ones have the same option, but this one, not only can you run it off of your power station or your 12-volt source out of your vehicle or whatnot with this adapter, you can also run it off of AC power with the little inverter here, because this is a 12-volt / 24-volt fridge. It can run off of both of those, so that is a nice option. But this one also has the options to be running on a battery, and a lot of these brands that have this same kind of setup usually charge, I want to say, around $200, $250 for their specific brand battery pack, and I want to say this one's around $150. Don't quote me on that. $150, $180, something like that, which is spendy, but it is a large battery. It is 15,600 milliamp hour battery, so quite large, or 173 watt hour battery, I should say. Might understand that a little bit better. But if you don't want to go that route, for like 15 or 20 bucks, you can get this adapter, and you can get this for many different types of batteries. So if you have a cordless power tool brand that you prefer, if it is Dewalt, Milwaukee, Makita, or Bosch, you can specifically buy these adapters. And I have one of the Newair batteries because I wanted to run it, but I also picked up one of the Dewalt ones because I also run the Dewalt 20-volt lineup. And you just simply drop this into place, and then you can throw in 2, if you buy 2 of these adapters, 2 of your Dewalt batteries or 2 of your Milwaukee batteries. So this might save you a lot of money by going this route, but I'm not sure. We're going to do a test to see how long my Dewalt batteries will run. We're running one Newair battery right now. I'm doing a test on it. It's been running for about 6 hours. Still has 2 bars of life left, which is pretty surprising. So I'm very impressed with this. I don't think the power tool batteries are going to last quite as long. They're not quite as large. After I'm done with this test, I'm going to throw in one of my Dewalt batteries, see how long it will run on one of my batteries. Obviously, that's going to depend on the amp hour battery that you decide to run, but I love that there's more than one option. You can run it off of your power station if you have one, or your vehicle. You can run it off of an AC outlet. You can run it with the Newair battery pack, or if you have one of the 4 power tool brands, you can run it off of those batteries. And it's got dual slots, so you can double up on battery capacity. So I really like that, where this, I can either run off of AC or I can run it off of my power station. That's really the only 2 options that I have. So not that there's anything wrong with that, I just like the options that are available for this. This one is a 25 quart or 24 liter, so a little bit larger capacity and a little bit larger housing. Now this one does include wheels. There is another brand out there that has the same cooler, but when Newair, selected this one, they decided to make some changes to it, some good and some bad. The good upgrades is that these wheels on the other one, the cheaper one that looks like this, has extremely scrawny, very, very cheap wheels. So I do like that they went with a little bit wider tire. This is going to be a little bit better for, pulling on the sand or pulling, over kind of rough terrain. So I do like that they upgraded that. You do have a nice pull handle here. It is comfortable up here. It is, you can kind of see the framing there, so you don't want to grab around here. That wouldn't be comfortable, but the actual section that you pull from is completely surrounded, so it's pretty comfortable. I do kind of wish that they would have done like a metal bracing inside of here, just because it does twist a little bit, but I don't think it's going to be an issue unless like you run into a log or a large rock or something like that. But it is nice to have the wheels and pull handle, and then you have 2 tie down locations here as well as one here and here. It does have a locking lid with a latch. Same thing for the battery compartment. The battery compartment, it's kind of a cheaper plastic, so not bad just because there's only batteries being stored in here, but it would be nice to see like an internal brace in here just to kind of prevent this thing from being so flimsy. You do have your 2 cup holders on here, and while I don't enjoy these cup holders, I feel like this is absolutely pointless. These ones have just a little bit more depth that never really fit any specific drink anyways. They just kind of sit in here and move around. But yeah, those are included. The locking lid, I really like this. There is one change that they did that I don't agree with, and that is inside here. It does have a nice seal around the lid that seals very nicely along this lip here. It does have an internal light. I'll give you the internal dimensions here in just 1 minute. The one thing I don't like is they have locations here for a ball chain, like what you see here. But for some reason, they have opted not to include that or have it on here, which they are nice hinges, and they do have stops on them, so they only go to a certain point. But I would hate for just the added security of that chain would be a really nice addition. Shuts nicely. And I am opening this lid every time I see the battery drop a bar. I am opening this lid just to kind of let some of the cold air out so the compressor can actually run a few times during the test, kind of mimicking going and getting a beverage or a snack out of the cooler while it's running, just so it's not sitting here not running the entire time. So the internal dimensions are going to be 12.5 inches wide, 9 3/4 inches deep, and 12, and that's from front to back, depth from front to rear. And then the height is going to be 12.25 inches. So pretty decent internal space there. The external dimensions are going to be 24.6 inches wide, 14.6 inches from front to rear, and 16 inches tall. This unit runs about just over 28 pounds. It also has battery protection. So if you connect this to your vehicle, you can actually go in. You can set this for max or eco mode. I'm just leaving it on max. You also have a high, medium, and low. So if you have this connected to your vehicle, I would leave it on a high, and basically once it sees your battery drop to a certain voltage, then it's gonna stop the fridge from running just so your vehicle battery doesn't die. And you have 3 different levels. There's a little bit of information if you would like to see that. But here you can see the settings for the cut in and cut out on both the 12 volt setup and 24 volt setup when it's set on low, medium, and high. Basically so your fridge does not drain the battery on your vehicle. Obviously the battery life is going to depend on if you're running it on a power station, the power tool brand that you're with, and the amp hours you're running in the fridge, or if you're running 1 or 2 of the Newair batteries. Not only is the battery capacity going to depend on how long this thing stays on, but external and internal temperatures of the unit are also going to affect battery life. That's the one thing I should mention, is this Newair battery does not come with a charger. You have to have it plugged into the cooler in order to charge it with the AC wall outlet. So you do not want to lose this if you're running the Newair batteries, because you have no way to charge this battery without putting it into the cooler. And then you do have a USB port here as well. The AC port does have a rubber flap as well, and there is a fuse down there as well. Here you have your ventilation for your compressor and everything. And it does have an LG compressor, so that I am very impressed with. So that is just kind of a quick look at the cooler. Now we'll do the tests and I'll get back with you to see what the results are. I just turned the unit on at 7 o'clock exactly, and we're going to be seeing how long this 12 volt power cooler will run on a fully charged Newair battery. And I will keep you guys updated throughout the process to see how long this one battery lasts. And it's officially 11 o'clock at night. I'm inside watching the rookie, and this thing, I'm just waiting for it to die. The compressor just kicked on a little bit ago. You can see the voltage going down. It's on its last bar. It's been on its last bar for like 2.5 hours. So it fluctuates between about 32 degrees, and when it hits 40, that's when it kicks on, gets it back down to about 32 degrees because I have it set at 36. So yeah, it's doing very well just on the one Newair battery. It's definitely lasted a lot longer than I expected it to. Now granted, it's only about 65 in my garage, so maybe, you know, on a day that it's 80 or 90 out, it might not last as long. And I have been opening and closing this door. I've probably done it about 10 times throughout this battery life cycle. So I'm very impressed, but I'm still gonna keep on going, and I'll let you guys know when it finally dies. Okay, so it is officially 12:30 and it has 0 bars. It just hit 40 degrees, so the compressor just kicked on. So I'm really expecting this thing to shut down any minute now, because it's been 15 hours running now, or not running, you know, the compressor doesn't constantly run, but it's kept this thing on for 15 hours. That's very impressive. This states 4 to 8 hours depending on what you're running, and obviously internal and external temperatures. So the fact that this thing has ran this long really surprised me just on the one battery pack. And I'm surprised it actually hasn't kicked off yet. There you can see 9.8 volts. Okay, so this thing finally died last night around 1. So we're going to take this battery out. I'm gonna put the adapter plate in. Here's a 3 amp hour battery. It is fully charged. I just got it off the charger. It's actually, we're gonna go ahead and use this 5 amp hour battery, fully charged, and see how long it runs for. You can see I unplugged the unit. Set to 36 degrees just like before. You can see it has 20.4 volts, and we'll just let it run, and I'll keep track of how long the 5 amp hour battery lasts. The 5 amp hour battery finished up last night. It ran for approximately 7.5 hours. I will post up in here so you guys can see how long it ran on the Newair, the 3 amp hour, and the 5 amp hour battery. And keep in mind that you can run double of those tool batteries, so you can get even longer amounts of time. But right now I'm just going to simply run it on my EcoFlow power station just to see the wattage that it pulls and see if it'll run for approximately the same time that this cooler would. I'm not going to run it on here from 100% to dead just because that takes approximately 3 days if the wattage is about the same. So we're just going to simply use the 12-volt adapter, turn the unit on, open this guy up, put it in, and we're going to see what the wattage is when the compressor kicks on. It took a little bit of time, maybe 5 minutes, to get this thing up and going, and it's running right around 30 to 40 watts, and it'll get up to as high as 60. It's a 60 watt unit, so this is what it roughly runs at when the compressor is actually up and going. And this is set on max, not eco. Even at this wattage, it will run on this power station for approximately 3 days, just because that compressor is not going to be running the entire time. Overall, my thoughts on this unit: I think it runs really nicely. It cools really quickly. It's extremely quiet. I like that it's got an LG compressor. I like the build quality minus a couple of places. I like the upgraded wheels. I like the latching lid, and with the wheels, I like that it has a pull handle. The things that I think could be improved are the chain here. I think that should be included. It seems to seal really well. I think this could just use like a plastic brace in here just so it's not as flimsy. And then I think the handle could also use just a metal horseshoe type frame to it, just to give it a little bit more rigidity. But overall, I like the size. It's still going to fit in the bed of my truck, even with the bed slide. It's at its max height of approximately 16 inches. So overall, I think this is a fantastic fridge for the price. Now, the route I would go, if you don't already own a power station, unless you're going camping on a regular basis and you already planned on buying a power station, then that's fine. But if you don't own a power station and all you're going to do is just run this fridge on it, that's going to be a lot of money. So that's why I like that this unit has other power options besides just running it on AC voltage or DC off the vehicle. You have the option of the Newair, which is very, very impressive for this size. And like I said, I'll post a picture for how long this Newair battery ran the cooler for, and obviously that's going to fluctuate depending on internal, external temperatures, what you're demanding it to cool it to in the exterior temperatures, and how much stuff is inside of the cooler. But I think the best route, the most affordable and best route, is the Newair battery adapters for Dewalt, Milwaukee, Makita, Bosch, those units. If you have any of those power tool batteries, I think just buying 2 of these, because these are roughly $20 compared to $180. I'll post up the correct price in here if that's wrong. Even though this one battery is very, very impressive, the cooler plus the cost of this does bump it up quite a bit. And especially if you were to run 2 of these in this unit, you would be able to run this cooler for a very long time. But that would be a very pricey unit right there. I think just buying 2 of these adapters for $40 roughly, and being able to run your tool batteries in here, I would have no problem running this for a very long time on those tool batteries. And then those tool batteries charge very quickly, whereas this Newair battery, it is quite a large battery and it has to be in this cooler to charge. So this, I want to say, takes between 6 and 8 hours to charge. So not exactly fast, and the inconvenience of not being able to charge it unless it's in the unit. But overall, I think it's a fantastic unit. I think that's a very impressive battery, but I think the most cost-effective route to go is to run your power tools on this unit if you're not running it on a power station or off AC DC power. So that is my final thoughts on the unit. Let me know your guys' thoughts down in the comments. And if you guys would like any other information, please just feel free to drop a comment down below. I'll do my best to answer it for you guys. But this will be linked down in the description. And if you guys enjoyed, make sure to smash that thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, make sure to subscribe. And I'll see you guys next time.